بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Above Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then right away they defended. And they said, قالوا, they said, إن يسرق, if you're telling that he stole, إن يسرق, فقد سرق أخ له من قبل. I mean, we're different. He has another brother from a different mother. We are different. We're not, don't mix us with him. He had a brother and he stole before. And this is referring to 3 incidents. The Mufassirun have mentioned that this is referring to Yusuf alayhi salam, and he stole in the past, refers to 3 incidents. Wallahu alam if they're true or not, but it's mentioned. One of them is that he was living with his aunt, with his paternal aunt, Puppo. And when he was a child, the Puppo really liked him and wanted him to be with him. But the rule was, if the child steals, even if the child steals, then in that case he becomes enslaved to that person. So she gave a shirt to Yusuf alayhi salam, the color of which shirt he used to like, and Yusuf alayhi salam grabbed it as a baby, as an infant, and he hid it in some of his luggage. So when Yaqub alayhi salam came to take Yusuf alayhi salam back, she said, I am missing a shirt. And Yusuf alayhi salam stole it. And then she kept Yusuf alayhi salam like that out of the love for him. The second story that is mentioned, that Yusuf alayhi salam used to take money, he used to take food from rich people. وَكَانْ يُطْعِمِ الْفُقَرَاءِ. He used to give food to the poor people. And this, in my opinion, is really far, because, Anbiya don't steal even when they were not Nabi. So this is a very far-fetched opinion. And the third opinion is, this is referring to the fact that Yusuf alayhi salam, when he went to his maternal grandfather, they were wathaniyin, i.e. they had not converted. They were still practicing idolatry, and Yusuf alayhi salam stole all of those idols. Wallahu alam what's the reference to these stories, but these are the stories that are referred to when he said, وَإِن يَسْرِقْ, when he فَقَدْ سَرَقَ أَخٌ لَهُ مِنْ قَبْلِ, his brother in the past had stolen. This is what it is referring to. Now the authenticity of it, Allahu alam. Okay, today there's a lot of sugar energy in the room. MashaAllah. And we have plans for more sugar for them. May Allah help us afterwards. قالوا أنتم so he says فأسرها يوسف في نفسه ولم يبدئها لهم لهم. Yusuf alayhi salam recognized this, and he made it, Urdu mein kehte na, unsuni kar di. Like he was like, I didn't hear it. I did not hear what you just said. And this tells you the absolute control that Yusuf alayhi salam had. In whose court are they? He is the king. He is the decision maker. He is the most important person in that room. And you're telling, like, they're talking about him that, when they don't know it's Yusuf. They're like, when his brother was young, he was also a person who used to steal. Hence his brother turned out the same way. فَأَسَرَّهَا Yusuf. Yusuf alayhi salam hid that information. He's like, it's okay. And that's what the ulama, they said, that whenever you come across a situation in life, you have qudra over. You have the ability to do something with it. You have 2 infi'alat. You have 2 options, 2 things that you can do out from your body. One of them is أن تنفعل لما فعل بك. You react to it, and you become angry, and you become agitated, and you scream, and how dare, this is not. And the other one is that you keep your calm and you work your aql, and you don't let your emotions cloud. And you will find that Anbiya alayhim salam, all the time, they had always control over their emotions, and their emotions would never cloud their intellect. We see that in Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where Zayd ibn Sa'ina comes to Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he says, Ya ibn Hashim, Ya ibn Abdul Muttalib, Antum mutil, you are people who do not pay your debts. A'tini dayni, give me my debt. And he grabbed the cloak that Rasulullah was wearing. فَنَزَعَهَا, he grabbed it, and you could see the burn mark of the cloth on the neck of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What did he do? Like react? No. And Umar radiallahu anhu, he was standing right next to him. He took out his sword. He's like, Ajib, this guy who's a Yahudi comes to Rasulullah and doing this to him? Ya Rasulullah. And it mentions, يعني لا طفه رسول, कहते हैं मुहब्बत से क्या नबी मुझे बस let me take care of him. Like he wanted, like, Ya Rasulullah, just give me this like wink, like allow me and I'll take care of him. Then Rasulullah turns to Umar and he says, La ya Umar, that's not true. That's not how we do things. It was more befitting for you, O Umar, to command me to pay my debt and to command him, i.e. Zayd ibn Sa'ina, husnul talab, ask properly. Even in that situation, he's teaching Umar that reaction is not the option. And that's why you find over here, فَأَسَرَّهَا فِي نَفْسِي. He hid it in his self, and he didn't tell that. وَلَمْ يُبْدِهَا لَهُمْ. And he said what he said in his side, in his heart. What did he said? He said, قَالَ أَنْتُمْ شَرٌّ مَكَانًا. You are more wretched in position in the eyes of Allah than me. Your position is really bad with Allah. But that's what he said to himself. Okay? Wallahu a'lamu bima tasifun. And Allah knows what you are fabricating. All of this stuff that you're fabricating, it's all fabrication. There is no truth to that. قالوا, they say, أيها العزيز, O Aziz, إن له أبا شيخا كبيرا. They mention three things. They say, O Aziz, now he went from being a finance minister, because he says, Inni Hafizun Alim, to being an Aziz. So here's where his position changed. You notice that. So now he has become the Aziz. So which means he became both responsible for Ministry of Finances and Ministry of Interior. Both. So he says, Ya ayyuhal Aziz, O Aziz. Inna lahu, the brothers, they say three things about Yaqub alayhi salam. Inna lahu, indeed he has aban shaykhan kabira. He has a father, and the father is really old. Okay? And he is shaykh, he is old in age. Wa kabiran, two ways. Either he has a status in our society, he is really, valuable person within the society. Kabir in mansaba, in makana, he is really honored in our community. Or kabir in a sense that he has become really old in age, so he would not be able to take this shock. فَخُذْ أَحَدَنَا مَكَانَهُ. Take one of us instead of him. إِنَّا نَرَاكَ مِنَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Indeed, we see you as the ones who are doers of the good. Notice what the people in the prison, they said. O Aziz, O Yusuf, tell us, أَيُّهَا الصِّدِّيقِ إِنَّا نَرَاكَ مِنَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. We see you from the ones who always choose the best path to be followed. Ihsan's path. And ihsan is what? Assalamu alaikum. All right, that's eye roll, bro. MashaAllah. He was like, yeah, whatever. Talk to the hand because my face don't want to listen to you. All right. Okay. I thought he was going to talk to me. Inna naraka min al-muhsinin. What is ihsan? Ihsan is to do something fawqa talab. You do something beyond what you have been asked for. So if you've been asked to do 1, 2, 3, you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 4, 5, 6 is fadl min. It's something you do. Additional. It was never asked from you. Do you want to go to the next page? Page 245. قَالَ مَعَاذَ اللَّهِ. Read 2 verses from there. And I need you to remove your mask down a little bit and speak into the mic louder. And take a deep breath. Can we all be, please... Excellent.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قال معاذ الله أن نأخذ إلا من وجدنا متاعنا عنده إنا إذا لظالمون. فلما استيئسوا منه خلصوا نجيا كبيرهم ألم تعلموا أن أباكم قد أخذ عليكم موثقا من الله ومن قبل ما فرطتم في يوسف فلن أبرح الأرض حتى يأذن لي أبي أو يحكم الله لي وهو خير الحاكمين.
Okay, good. Jazakallah khair. So Yusuf alayhi salam, he responds to the brother and he says, قال معاذ الله. He says, I seek refuge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أن نأخذ إلا من وجد متاعنا. How can I take somebody? I mean, I am only going to take that person whom I found the cup with. I can't take somebody else. That would not be fair. Inna idhan lamina al-zalimin. We are going to be from those la-zalimun. I will be from those who are transgressors. فَلَمَّا اسْتَيْأَسُوا مِنْهُ خَلَصُوا نَجِيًّا. When they completely lost all hope from Yusuf. Al-ya'as is actually in Arabic language, al-ya'as basically means قَطْعُ الْأَمَلِ مِنَ الشَّيْءِ. You, all sources of hope from something that you wanted have been cut off from you. Right? That's called ya'is. فَلَمَّا اسْتَيْأَسُوا. When they completely lost hope from him, خَلَصُوا نَجِيًّا. They secluded themselves, they separated themselves, and they were in a state of, Urdu mein kehte hain khusar pusar. Right? Najiya. Right? They started like sitting into, what happened? What should we do, man? Did you know? Yeah, I have no idea. So this is called najwa. They're sitting amongst one another and they're quietly discussing this matter. Okay? خَلَصُوا نَجِيًّا. قَالَ كَبِيرُهُمْ. Usually that was the case in the adab, that whenever you have a group of people, usually it's not the person with the oldest age, but the person with the highest makana, the highest position within the community speaks first. قَالَ كَبِيرُهُمْ. The eldest one, the oldest one says, أَلَمْ تَعْلَمُوا. Don't you not know أَنَّ أَبَاكُمْ قَدْ أَخَذَ عَلَيْكُمْ مَوْثِقًا مِّنَ اللَّهِ. Don't you know that Allah, your father, he took a very strong covenant and a promise from you. What was the promise? The promise was, you're going to bring him back. وَمِن قَبْلِ مِن قَبْلُ مَا فَرَّطْتُمْ فِي يُوسُف. And you forgot the transgression that you did with Yusuf before? You've forgotten all of that? فَلَنْ أَبْرَحَ الْأَرْضَ حَتَّى يَأْذَنَ لِي أَبِي أَوْ يَحْكُمَ اللَّهُ لِي. I am not moving from here until my father gives me permission to come back, or Allah decrees something in that matter for me. وَهُوَ خَيْرُ الْحَاكِمِينَ. This person has returned back to Allah. He's like, this matter is with Allah now. I am not going to go back. I have no face to show my father. Both of his sons, because of this group of ours, are lost. I have no hope left. I'm not going back to my dad until Allah decrees something or my father gives me permission to come back. So obviously they were discussing. So he was the older one. They consequently said, Kya kare? What do we do? I mean, like, our leader is sitting down. What do we do? So he also gives them the decision to do. Irji'u ila abikum. From this ayah, can we have the next person? Where is the next person to recite? Come. Let's go. You can hide here, so nobody will see you.
Which ayah?
You're going to recite from here. Irji'u ila abikum. Go till 83. You can sit down. Sit here, so nobody will see you. It's okay, mashallah. She got the courage. Mashallah. Can we all say takbir? Allah. That's a very, bhook lagi aap sabko. Takbir. Allahu Akbar. All right. Let's go. Bismillah. Okay, well, let me get the crowd for you. Shh. Quiet. Everyone. Okay, Bismillah. A'udhu billah.
ارجعوا إلى أبيكم فقالوا يا أبنا إن ابنك سرق وما شهدنا إلا بما علمنا وما كنا للغيب حافظين
واسأل القرية
التي كنا فيها والعير التي أقبلنا فيها وإنا لصادقون قال بل سولت لكم أنفسكم أمرا فصبر جميل عسى الله أن يأتيني بهم جميعا إنه هو العليم الحكيم.
Jazakallah khair. MashaAllah. Excellent. So he says to them, sit here because you'll read the next part. Irji'u ila abikum. He says, go back to your father. Irji'u ila abikum. Go back to your father. Faqulu, to tell him, Ya abana, O our father, inna ibnaka saraq, your son, he stole. Wa ma shahidna, and we did not see that he did that act of stealing. Illa ma alimna wa ma kunna lil ghaybi hafidhin. And we were not, if he did something in secret, how can we be protective of things that happens in secret? So ghayb, things that happen in unseen, we cannot protect him from that. واسأل القرية التي كنا فيها والعير التي أقبلنا فيها. Go and ask the city, the town that we were in, they will tell you the same narration. And ask the caravan that we came in, they will tell you the same thing. We are truthful ones. We did not make this up this time. وإنا لصادقون. We are telling you the truth this time. And over here, it's really interesting because when you make up a story once, doubts and questions come on you. Are you telling the right thing? I don't know, man. To what percentage is that story true? Kitna masala hai usme, right? So they're now rectifying that with their dad, that wa inna la sadiqun, indeed we are telling you the truth. There is no masala here. There's no add-on to this. So Yaqub alayhi salam, he says, قَالَ بَلْ سَوَّلَتْ لَكُمْ أَنفُسُكُمْ أَمْرًا. Your nafs, your souls have made this matter extremely, it has beautified it, and you are acting upon these things with no concern. بَلْ سَوَّلَتْ لَكُمْ أَنفُسُكُمْ أَمْرًا. What is up to me? فَصَبْرٌ جَمِيلٌ. What is sabr jameel? We said, number one is Allah tashtakiya. You do not do shakwa, you do not complain to anyone illa ma'allah. You raise your complaints to Allah. Number two is the athar of, so this thing that you're going through, you keep that to yourself, number one. Number two is, if you are going to complain, you're going to complain to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and no one else. That is sabrun jameel. Wallahu fasabrun jameel. Asa Allahu an ya'tiya bihim jami'a. And still never leaving hope. So part of sabr jameel is you don't leave hope. He's like, oh, I'm very hopeful that Allah is going to bring both of them back to me. Innahu huwa al-alim al-hakim. And I know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most knowledgeable and He is all wise. Ready? وَتَوَلَّى.
وتولى عنهم وقال يا أسفا على يوسف وابيضت عيناه من الحزن فهو كظيم قالوا تالله تذكر يوسف حتى تكون حردا أو تكون من الهالكين قال إنما أشكو بثي وحزني إلى الله وأعلم من الله ما لا تعلمون.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you. That's all for today for your recitation. You can go back, inshallah. MashaAllah. So, وَتَوَلَّ عَنْهُمْ. He turns away from his sons. وَقَالَ, and he says, يَا أَسَفَا عَلَى يُوسُف وَابْيَضَّتْ عَيْنَاهُ مِنَ الْحُزْنِ وَهُوَ كَظِيمٌ. So he says, Ya asafa, oh, and he has deep sorrow, and he's saying these things. He's like, man, this Yusuf. You know, we say different, it's an expression. You can't translate it in English, but it's like, you know, sometimes you lose someone, it's like, man, I wish my father could come back. Right? That's what he's trying to say. That Ya asafa ala Yusuf. وَبْيَضَّتْ عَيْنَاهُ مِنَ الْحُزْنِ. Due to the depression and the sorrow that he was in, due to the loss of Yusuf alayhi salam, his eyesight he started building cataract. That's what, you know, some of the modern mufassirun, they said, that it's like he started losing his eyesight, not like he was losing eyesight, something started building up in his eyes. مِنَ الْحُزْنِ. Because of the sadness that he has, the depression that he has of the things of the past. فَهُوَ كَظِيمٌ. And the other issue is, he was holding down this feelings inside, and he was not talking to anybody other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The word kadhim in the Arabic language is something really interesting, because the word kadhim actually comes from, you know, in Urdu we say mashkidani. We say mashkidani, I don't know if you guys know. Or water pouch, leather water pouch. In Arabic we say qirba. So and it's generally the skin of the animal that is taken out whole, and then you tan it, you turn it into leather, you tie up the limbs, and then you have this cavity in which you can fill water, milk, ghee, and whatever. Now when this pouch or this cavity gets filled with water and it is about to overflow, the Arabs would use a fi'l and they would say ikdhimha, i.e. the word kadhim is to wrap the mouth of that water pouch to prevent it from spilling. And from there comes the word وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظِ, those who suppress their anger. The word kadhim is that your feelings, your emotions, when they're about to spew out, they're about to come out of your mouth, the act of tying your mouth and letting it in and not hurting anybody else with them is the act of kadhim. فَهُوَ كَظِيمٌ. The sorrow was because he was letting all of these emotions inside and he was not talking to anybody. In the case of Yaqub alayhi salam, he was a Nabi. So it was not befitting for him to talk to another creation because he had a direct connection with Allah. But in your case, in my case, please do not do that. Nahi, Yaqub alayhi salam kar rahe the, main bhi karunga. That's not the case. It is that he was a Nabi. And I told you about the story before where he complained to one of his brothers and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rebuked him. He's like, how dare you complain about my affairs to a khalq? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told that to Yaqub alayhi salam. So this is a case of Yaqub alayhi salam. And as for us, if you are feeling that, it is okay to talk about it as long as it doesn't have any ghiba, it doesn't have any form of backbiting involved in it, then you're okay. You know, you're letting out steam. What also works is playing some squash. Going in the court and hitting the ball on the wall as crazy as you can. Really, you know, the kadhim comes out. And you can say whatever words you want to say because it's in that room and nobody's going to hear you. Qalu. Where's the other brother? Do you want to come up for the next part? Page 246. Yeah. You know, grab your phone. It's okay. Qalu, they said, Tallahi, the family is gathered around Yaqub alayhi salam and they're like, man, this old man. Qalu Tallahi tafta'u tazkuru Yusuf hatta takuna haradan aw takuna min al-halikin. Until when are you going to be in the state of Yusuf? Until you will kill yourself? So even the family is done with it. They're like, man, just enough. He's gone, just accept it. So he says, I'm not complaining to you. He says, قَالَ إِنَّمَا أَشْكُو بَثِّي وَحُزْنِي إِلَى اللَّهِ. I present my case and my complaints and my shikwa, my shikayat to who? And my sorrows to Allah. وَأَعْلَمُ مِنَ اللَّهِ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. And you make mockery of me. You think as a family, like, what am I doing this? I have knowledge that I have that you don't have from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm a Nabi. Go ahead. Ya bani yadhabu.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا بني اذهبوا فتحسسوا من يوسف وأخيه ولا تيأسوا من روح الله إنه لا ييأس من روح الله إلا القوم الكافرون فلما دخلوا عليه قالوا يا أيها العزيز مسنا وأهلنا الضر وجئنا ببضاعة مزجاة فأوف لنا الكيل وتصدق علينا إن الله يجزي المتصدقين قال هل علمتم ما فعلتم بيوسف وأخيه إذ أنتم جاهلون قالوا أئنك لأنت يوسف قال أنا يوسف وهذا أخي قد من الله علينا إنه من يتق ويصبر فإن الله لا يضيع أجر المحسنين.
Jazakallah khair. Then Yaqub alayhi salam, he comes out and he gains his strength back after being in that state, and the family is telling him, why are you talking about Yusuf? When are you going to stop talking about Yusuf? At that state, he comes and he says, Ya bani, oh my sons, come back. Idhabu, go. Because the best way you and I can have out of our depressions and out of our sorrows and anxieties, action. Do something worthwhile. Do something. Direct yourself towards a goal. That's what they tell you. Find a hobby. Do something. Challenge yourself to get out of it. So he is in that state and he's like, you know what? I can't be like that. I need to do some action. He gathers all of his sons. He says, Ya bani yadhhabu fatahassasu min Yusuf wa akhi. Go and look for Yusuf. Tahassasu is use all your sensory, all the knowledge acquisition senses that Allah has given you, your eyes, your ears, your senses, everything. Go out and start looking for Yusuf. Wa akhi, and his brother. وَلَا تَيْأَسُوا مِن رَوْحِ اللَّهِ, and do not despair from the mercy and the rawh of Allah, i.e. the spirit. It's not the actual spirit of Allah, but technically the word is rawhullah, that this spirit, this empowerment that Allah will give you, don't despair from that. إِنَّهُ لَا يَيْأَسُ مِن رَوْحِ اللَّهِ إِلَّا الْقَوْمُ الْكَافِرُونَ. The ones who despair from Allah's mercy are the ones who are the kafirun. فَلَمَّا دَخَلُوا عَلَيْهِ, when they entered Yusuf alayhi salam's palace one more time, قالوا, they said, Ya ayyuhal aziz, O Aziz, massana wa ahlana ad-durr. We have been struck by in our families with calamity, with difficulty, ad-durr. وَجِئْنَا, and we came بِبِضَاعَةٍ مُزْجَاةٍ. We came with things that are not even worthy of anything. It is so invaluable things that we brought, no value. فَأَوْفِ لَنَا الْكَيْلِ. Would you give us a full measure for this? This is not worthy of anything, but are you going to give us a full measure of one person per camel? One camel per person? أَوْفِ لَنَا الْكَيْلِ وَتَصَدَّقْ عَلَيْنَا. I mean, like, if we are worthy of a quarter camel, give the rest as a sadaqah to us. The 3/4 is from your side. إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَجْزِي الْمُتَصَدِّقِينَ. SubhanAllah, they're teaching him now. It's like Allah gives jaza to the ones who give sadaqah. Like, don't you know that? Allah. He says, قَالَ هَلْ عَلِمْتُمْ مَا فَعَلْتُمْ بِيُوسُف. Do you know what you did with Yusuf alayhi salam? وَأَخِيهِ, and his brother. إِذْ أَنْتُمْ جَاهِلُونَ. Hajib. He says, did you know what you did with Yusuf and his brother? And the issue was, you guys were in a state of jahl. You guys are in a state of ignorance. I don't blame you. There's no blame onto you. And they turn around and they says, قَالُوا أَإِنَّكَ لَأَنْتَ يُوسُف. Are you Yusuf? He says, نعم. قَالَ أَنَا يُوسُف. I'm Yusuf. وَهَذَا أَخِي. Remember how he said, فَقَدْ سَرَخَ أَخٌ لَهُ. So now he's recovering that. He said, Na'am, I am Yusuf, وَهَذَا أَخِي. And this is my brother. The one you pointed fingers at as a one who steals, هَذَا أَخِي. This is my brother. قَدْ مَنَّ اللَّهُ عَلَيْنَا. Allah has been beneficent, most merciful, and Allah's benefit on us and man and bounties are innumerable on us. إِنَّهُ مَن يَتَّقِي. The rule is, whosoever adopts the path of taqwa. And number 2 is وَيَصْبِرْ. And he is patient. You in your challenges in life, me in my challenge in his life, take the path of taqwa and accompanied by lots of gas of sabr. Expensive nowadays. $1.70 or something. Sabr is cheaper. Use sabr instead. إِنَّهُ مَن يَتَّقِي. Whosoever has taqwa. وَيَصْبِرْ. And he is patient. فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ. Indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. لَا يُضِيعُ أَجْرَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Allah is not going to let waste the rewards of those who go beyond what is called for in your lives. The word over here, إِنَّهُ مَن يَتَّقِي وَيَصْبِرْ, is something really interesting, because yattaqi and yasbir, Allah has used that in a present continuous tense, which means that throughout your journeys in life, your taqwa and your sabr is present continuous tense. You're going to need it now and you're going to continue to need it. The minute you think you have attained the taqwa, that's where you lose the battle. That's where you lose the battle. Because taqwa is not a destination. It is the journey. It is the journey to Allah. And when we go through this journey, then there is going to be times where taqwa is going to be tested, and you're going to need sabr to hold on to taqwa. You're going to need sabr to hold on to the right path. As we mentioned in our hadith today, that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was saying, he said to the Sahaba that people would come after you, and if they would come out to a gathering like this, if they would come out to a salah, your actions of doing this will be equal to the actions of 50 Sahaba. So the Sahaba said, Ya Rasulullah, why? I mean, this is not fair. A lot of us know a lot of fairness nowadays, right? So Sahaba was like, why? This is not fair. We're doing effort. Why are they going to get 50 of us? He says, why? Because you find people that will help you in doing this good. وَهُمْ لَا يَجِدُونَ. You're not going to find this type of company around you. You are here, you feel connected. No matter where you come from, you feel connected. You feel this iman. You leave and you long for this to come back. Why? Because in our homes, in our places, in our neighborhoods, you don't have an environment like that where you come out of your park and mashallah, there's tafseer being taught. There's hadith halaqah happening and a Quran halaqah happening. It doesn't happen there, right? There's always phones and YouTubes and Instagrams and all the other things.